Hey everyone, it's me, Danny. You'll have to excuse any squeaking sounds that you hear. My dog had to take a break from the puppies, so I'm holding one of the fussier ones. I got done with my appointment today for the one that I was both most looking forward to and least looking forward to. Most of the focus throughout this process has been put on this specific section, which is the mental health section. I'm not going to go into very many specifics because, again, it's very personal to me. We're not there yet to where I want to be talking about any of my specific instances. But I will talk you through the process for those of you who are going through that process. So, in the beginning, I got logged on. The provider, she told me normally with these kinds of interviews or these kinds of appointments, nothing would be shared between different people. This one, however, is not the case because it's for your rating process. So it has to be shared with the VA. Not a big deal for me. They already were tracking everything that was going on. So it was just one of those oh yeah, of course, yes, I kind of gathered that was going to happen. But if you are somebody who you are more private or you don't want the VA to know certain things, you just need to be cognizant of that. So we started that. She laid the groundwork, did our introductions, and she wanted to get a bit of background. They're going to want to ask you what you your family relationships. What are they like? What was your friend groups when you were growing up? They're just trying to establish what your mental state was before you joined the military as compared to where it is now. Nothing too intrusive. I mean, it can be as intrusive as you make it. I just told them kind of generalized what they needed to know, some extra things they're thrown in there. It's not that big of a deal. They're just trying to get a baseline. Just like with any medical thing, nothing to be worried about. So after that, we got into the specific instances that we were there to talk about, how those have impacted me day to day, the things that you would normally think about when you talk about mental health and those kinds of professionals. We talked about my treatments in the Army. She brought up my record from that. And we kind of talked about how things kind of didn't really work out. We had some issues with the system when I was going through it. As I've kind of alluded to, it wasn't the best of experiences. We kind of talked about that and how that might have impacted my issue with these circumstances presently, how the day-to-day impacts were of those things, and what my life just in general is like after these events. They need to know the before, they need to know in the middle, when the things happened, and then they need to know after, because they have to know how you're progressing. So we went through that. Obviously, your mileage may vary. It depends on how open you are with them. I think I was about as open as I could be, so I'm hoping that it will lead to beneficial treatments going forward. At the end, she asked if I would be interested in that. I of course am. I would like to improve. I don't want to continue down my current path forever. That wouldn't be very fun. But she wanted to just ensure that I wanted to do that due to my unpleasant experience with the field prior. And I think that's something that is very important to understand. There was a long time where I just didn't want to talk about things with people after this because I just did not have it. It got worse after I talked to professionals and they kind of blew me off, which we talked about and addressed here. It's important to understand it's going to be different for every person. If you are having issues, you need to go talk about it. It's not a bad thing to talk about what's bothering you. And if you aren't clicking with the person that you're talking to, it's completely fine and acceptable to request somebody else. If they're any kind of professional, they will have no problem with that. They will understand that there's just different personalities. Some people combine differently with other people's personalities, and some people get along great. So we kind of talked about that. And then near the very end, like she asked the questions of like how not on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like most often, least often, frequently, or whatever. I forget what exactly it was. This was a couple hours ago, but I had other things to do before I could make the video. So we went through those. All in all, it took about 45 or 50 minutes. She told me at the beginning it can take anywhere from half an hour to a full hour. And then she asked me at the end if there was anything else that I needed to discuss. At the time, I was like, nah, I think we covered everything. I still think we got through everything that would be like most relevant. There's a couple of things I would have liked to talk to her about now that I've thought about it for a minute, but that's what you can expect going into it. Just know that yes, it's going to be shared with the rating system. It flew out the top of my head for a second. I couldn't remember what I was talking about. So they're going to talk to the rating people. You need to keep that in mind if there's some things that you don't want them to know. Again, they're all professionals, so I don't think you have anything to worry about, but if you have concerns, I would address that with whoever is conducting your interview. Me personally, I like things in person to do with things like this, because it's in my mind, you get a better interaction in person. Of course, things were scheduled super far out. They couldn't even tell me when an in-person one was, so I took the Zoom meeting version, and I feel like it was productive. But what I mean to say is, like, for the military, yes, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure if you see anyone who needs help, they need to get taken care of. For just the general population, I know it's very difficult right now. There's not a lot of resources available. There is, of course, hotlines. You can call those all the time. Hopefully at some point in the future, these are more available. I think that it would greatly benefit all of society for people to be able to talk out these problems, and it would cause a lot of good things. I can't think of any bad thing that would come from people solving their problems. So hopefully things like this are more widely available. I know if I wasn't in the military getting this process done, I probably wouldn't have ever talked to a mental health person. So I understand that. Yes, things are difficult. Insurance is expensive. I currently don't have insurance, and that's part of the reason why I was doing this. But that comes down on all of us a little bit to kind of take care of each other. And that's one of the reasons why I have the channel. I want to give people a place to escape. So, like, not run from your problems. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just, I want this channel and all of its content to be like, we're all having fun together, you know, like I'm having fun playing the games, you guys are having fun watching, or we're doing voices, or when I'm streaming, we're talking about, eventually when I'm streaming, I can't do it yet for a few different reasons, but once I'm doing that, we can just have a break from everything and just, you know, have a good time, because I think that's important. I think it's important for people to do things like that, because it gives you an outlet and it's something to look forward to. But yes, for my people going through the VA process, that's how it's going to go. Nothing to worry about. I would not, like, don't hold anything back. It's only going to benefit you to talk about these things. Use your support systems, use the hotlines if you need them. I'm going to put the main ones up, and that's all I've got for you guys today. Be safe out there. Drink water and change your socks, and I will see you next time.